broke up with Jake 6 months ago. It wasn't dramatic, at least not on my end. He was always intense, clingy, obsessive in ways that felt romantic at first, until it became suffocating. When I ended it, he didn't scream or beg. He just stared at me, wide-eyed, and said, "You'll come back. You're mine." So I didn't think much of it then. Valentine's Day started quietly. I wasn't planning to celebrate. No boyfriend, no plans, just a night in with a horror movie and a glass of wine. But when I got home from work, there was a box sitting on my doorstep. A dozen red roses. No note, just like that. I stood there staring at them for a while, my heart pounding a little harder than it should have. Jake. It had to be. Who else? I didn't call him. I didn't want to give him the satisfaction. But the next day, another gift arrived. This time, a small box of dark chocolates. The brand I used to keep on my nightstand. The ones I told Jake were my guilty pleasure. Then came the letter. A handwritten note, folded neatly in a pink envelope with no return address. The handwriting was unmistakable. Jake's cursive was always weirdly elegant, like he learned to write love notes in a past life. The letter said, "You looked beautiful in that blue sweater today. You still wear it when you're sad. I remember. You always liked the rain. It rained the first time we kissed. I haven't forgotten anything." My blood ran cold. I called him. "Jake, what the hell is this?" I snapped the moment he picked up. "Lily?" His voice was groggy, confused. "What are you talking about?" "The gifts, the roses, the letter. I know it's you." He sighed. "It's not, I swear. I'm seeing someone. We've been together for a couple months now. She's sitting right next to me." I heard a muffled voice in the background, a woman laughing. "I wouldn't do this, Lily. Not like that. I told you, I'm moving on." The worst part, I believed him. And yet, the gifts kept coming. The next letter was even worse. "I saw you take a shower last night. You let your hair air dry. You never used to do that. It's different now. You're different." I started checking every corner of my apartment, every shadow, every window. I slept with the curtains drawn, the doors locked, a knife under my pillow. Still, the notes kept appearing inside my apartment. I couldn't sleep, could barely eat. My friends thought I was spiraling, and maybe I was. Until last night. Last night I saw him. I was walking home from the corner store, keys clutched between my fingers. The wind was sharp, and the streets were mostly empty. I had that crawling sensation. You know, the one you get when someone's behind you. I turned around, no one. Then I saw a figure across the street, just standing, watching, under a broken street lamp. I called out, "Jake?" The figure stepped forward, slowly. That's when I saw his face. It wasn't Jake. It was Colin, my older brother's best friend. Colin, who died 3 years ago in a car accident. Colin, who used to flirt with me when no one was around. Colin, who I cried over at his funeral. Who I mourned for months. He didn't look dead, not like a corpse, but not quite alive either. His smile was too wide, his skin too pale, his eyes too empty. He lifted one hand and pointed to me, then raised the other, and in it was a single red rose. I ran. I haven't seen him since, not in person, but this morning there was a new letter on my kitchen counter. I waited, you moved on, but I haven't forgotten. I'll never forget. Happy Valentine's Day, Lily. I'm coming home. It started with an email. Subject: You've been chosen. Body: Celebrate Valentine's Day with someone who sees the real you. one night only. RSVP for a private invitation to the Lonely Hearts Club. Normally I'd delete that kind of thing without a second thought, but this year was different. My breakup with Clara left a hole in my chest that felt impossible to fill. I hadn't talked to anyone in weeks. I was tired of being alone. I was desperate. So I clicked RS. Within minutes, I got a follow-up with an address and time. 9 p.m. Valentine's night. Come alone. Dress nicely. The location was a bar I'd never heard of, the Crimson Room, tucked into an old street on the edge of downtown. No reviews, not even a Google listing. I almost backed out, but I didn't. When I got there, the place was glowing with soft red lights. Candles lined the entrance. Inside, it was all dark wood and velvet booths. Romantic music played from a vintage record player. The bartender didn't speak, just handed me a drink and gestured toward the back. That's where the speed dating was set up. There were 6 small tables. At each one, a stranger waited, all dressed in black, all smiling a little too much. The first woman I spoke to was pale, elegant, and oddly still. She asked me strange questions. Do you believe in ghosts? Have you ever dreamed about someone who died before you met them? Would you give up your life for someone you loved, even if they never loved you back? I laughed awkwardly. She didn't. The next guy had no pulse. I'm not being dramatic. I touched his wrist when he reached for his drink. Nothing. Ice cold. He just stared at me when I froze. You'll feel that way too, he said softly. After the first night, table after table, the people became stranger. One woman whispered my full name before I even introduced myself. Another said, "You shouldn't have come. Not yet. Not while you're still warm." When I tried to leave, the bartender was gone. The front door was bricked over. I ran down a hallway and found a mirror. That's when I realized something was wrong. My reflection was slow, delayed, like it wasn't me exactly, like it was following me. Then, behind the mirror, I saw them, all of them, watching me. The speed daters, dozens of them, faces pressed to the glass. One of them was Clara, dead-eyed, smiling. She mouthed, "You were always meant to be here." I blacked out. When I woke up, I was sitting at one of the tables. A fresh candle flickered between me and the next guest. They smiled and said, "Hi, I'm new here, first time." And I realized I wasn't leaving. I was part of the club now. The Lonely Hearts Club welcomes you forever. I never thought I'd be the kind of person to get flowers on Valentine's Day. My love life had been a mess for years, and I was used to spending February 14th alone. So when I found a bouquet of roses on my doorstep that morning, I was confused. There was no card, no note, just the roses, beautiful with a scent that made my skin crawl. I shrugged it off, thinking it was some weird mistake. That night, another bouquet arrived. Same thing, no note. The third night, I finally took a closer look at the flowers. The petals were unusually dark, almost black at the edges, and they seemed to be wilting faster than they should have been. There was a piece of paper tucked between the stems. It was handwritten. "I've been watching you for so long. You'll never be alone again. I'll always be here." I froze. That's when I noticed something in the corner of my living room. Movement, just out of the corner of my eye. I spun around, but no one was there. The only sound was the faint rustling of the roses. Then the doorbell rang. I opened it slowly, expecting nothing. But standing there, just beyond the door frame, was a man. His face was half hidden by a mask, but his eyes were wide and hungry. He smiled as he held out a fourth bouquet of roses. "I'll see you tomorrow," he whispered. Before I could react, he was gone. But the roses? They were in my house, and every day since they keep coming. The same dark, wilting flowers, with the same unsettling message. And I can't leave. I can't stop looking over my shoulder, wondering when he'll finally come back.